Hi, this is just a quick video for anyone with a Tukkari TS enclosure, specifically regarding the vent for the power supply. Now, a few months ago I put on to Thingiverse and the Prusa models a shroud that you can fit on the inside that goes between the plexiglass and the PSU, so that the air doesn't go anywhere else apart from directly to the PSU. And it also included an intake fan fitted at the bottom, so it push air into the bottom of the PSU and hopefully any warm air would come out the top. That was the theory, and for me it worked very well. Kept the power supply a lot colder than without that sort of venting. However, I've noticed I've been experimenting with different feet on my Mark III, and also I normally fit a paver and foam as well, and that raises the height, which means quite often the PSU was at the wrong height. Sometimes the shroud was over the top or the shroud was too low. So what I've done quickly is just modified a new one, so you've got a variable slot. So depending on the height that you require, you can actually move the shroud up and down. It still has the fan intake feature, and I'm going to fit that now. So to begin with, we have a 12 volt 40mm fan. You could equally use a USB 5 volt fan. So I'm just going to pop in. Make sure you have the correct orientation. The cable just slots in. There we go. There are hex holes in the back for the nut. And just pop that in. Just make sure it's in all the way. Then we will just do up the bolt. So just 3mm bolts. Takes a moment to do. Oops, nearly there. And I think we are not quite in because the nut is not in quite far enough, so I will push that in a little bit further. Hopefully that will be sufficient. Yeah, the bolt is now engaging in the nut. Okay, so the nut has been pulled in, and I'll do that for the remaining 3 holes. And once that's done, I've got a little X-shape tag here just to pop the cable in, just to keep it nice and tidy. Okay, back in a moment. So that's all 4 bolts in, nuts there, and we're ready to put this onto the case. Oh, just to show the end of here, I have got a 4-pin PC fan connector on the end that I've just soldered to the 2 wires on there, just if anyone's interested. That connects up to a thermostat. Anyway, I'm going to take the printer out of the case now, so that I've got a bit of wiggle room, and we'll bolt this in. Well, the next step is to pop the shroud onto the vent. So I've just popped a screw there, or bolt I should say. I've got a nut here that I'm just going to try and line up. Actually, it's sometimes easier just to put the end of the Allen key in there, so that it's upright to begin with, at least getting the first one. Okay, so we have a bolt and a nut, and hopefully we can get the 2 lined up. You can see the amount of travel that you have, so there's a lot of flexibility there. So I'm just going to put the next one in. of course, during a demonstration, it never works quite as you want. So do the same trick as before, and we will, there we go, pop that in there, and the hole is here, and we should be able to, yeah, there we go. Good, and I'll just go ahead and do the other two. The printer is now in, as you can see, and I've adjusted the shroud to go the maximum amount upwards while still sealing the bottom. It could go up a tiny little bit more. I don't use this particular area, which I think it was for the power supply switching for the Mark III, not the Mark 3S. So that's basically blanked off. And there we have it, an adjustable shroud. As you can see, I've got a paver here, and there's also foam underneath that's raised the printer up quite well, but it's still within scope for ventilation. And we have the fan here, the intake fan, to be able to suck air in and cool the power supply. And there we have it. I'll leave a link on the Prusa models and Thingiverse, so this shroud is completely freely available to anyone that's interested. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more tips and tricks.